suppose we should get down to business today. Rather than just spending a bunch of time talking to people about the stream that I'm doing. I should probably do the stream. So, let's get into it. Actually, maybe I'll make that. To flex my muscle as the social media manager for the Mercs of Mischief account. And I'm going to retweet my own post. I did it. It is done. Now I would eat the meeting. Ow. Excellent. That is the fish address. Excellent. Pitches. Okay. So, Wild Expanse. Got this place kind of built up. Got some things settled. Although this isn't entirely what we need to work on today. We need to flesh out our other zones, our cities. I could probably do to put some more forests here. It is looking a little bare currently. Don't know if I love the name of the Ghostlands. Probably going to change that up a bit. But yeah, let's go back. Let's go back in time. Oh, yeah, the flawless execution is going to get copyright struck. Let's go back to our empires and see where they're at. Okay. We need to flesh out Melangar, and we need to flesh out Rumbaldi. Those need to be real empires that are sorted out and that are things. And I need to make sure Nightbot's in the chat, because I put a lot of work into him. The hell is Trovo? Excellent. There we go. Nightbot, better fucking get into the channel. That's right. Excuse me. My God. What a rough trip so far. 10 minutes in, I've done nothing. I have no idea if Nightbot is here or not. He damn well better be. Oh, I could put emojis in? Hang on. Aw, yeah. Alright, focus. ADD out, making things now. The Ramvali Empire. So I wanted one of these empires to have some undead connections. If for no other reason than for my good friend Knock'em Sky, who loves undead. And I love undead as well. So I thought that would be really nice to have in there. And I have an idea of how I would like to use it. So let's go with our Melangar Empire. The Melangar Empire. Oh God. Melangar. Feels very dwarfish, you know? And I kind of want it to be. Let's figure out what the Caligarn Empire is about. Let's go with constitutional monarchy. Prime Minister and ruled by an empress. Now, here's how I wanted to do the undead connection. And this goes back to way back, way in the early days of the Penny Arcade D&D podcasts. Back when they used to have Will Wheaton on there. He created a place where it was like dwarves living side by side with like ghosts. And like the ancestors would live amongst each other as spirits. I explained this to somebody and they're like, Harry Potter stuff. And I'm like, sure, whatever, I guess. So I like that idea. I like that idea of this kind of society in which you living with your ghosts are commonplace. Living with the ghosts of your ancestry and your history and your own place. Now the ghosts can't be infinite, or the place will become overcrowded very quickly. And perhaps not everyone gets a ghost. So let's work that out a little bit. So, the Caligarn society is based around a reverence for one's ancestors. Knowledge and counsel is still valued and treasured long after their death. This is achieved through the services of local shamans skilled in necromantic arts. Able to conjure the spirits of the dead and assist with any problems they have. I need a cool name for these. I don't know what to call these cool shaman helpers. Ghost whisperers. Oh, God. Spirit talkers. Let's call them spirit talkers. What is Spirit Talkers? It's a show. It's a show. It only ran for 2 seasons. On the Aboriginal People's Television Network. Maybe I don't want to call them that. That has some like But just deep connections to like other people's culture that I probably shouldn't appropriate. Shaman King. How about let's call them mediums. Nurse mediums. Acquired position. Act as the bridge between the living and the dead, as well as counselors and doctors to the dead. Ugh. You know, I'm not a great speller, and I really wish Incarnate had something like this, and I understand it's not designed for this. I reached out to a couple world building websites over the past few days. I haven't heard back from any of them yet. I did get something back from World Animal. I've got to send them that shit out form. But maybe I can get this all put into one of those, but I'm gonna check and see, because I'd hate to start with one and get it into another one and then be like, oh no, you can't do this. Oh, well, shoot, now I gotta move everything over. Could be rough is all I'm saying. Act as doctors to the dead. Counsel, whatever. I know what I mean. What else? They train for many years apprenticeship as a senior. Jedi style. Like, they always make sure they're taking on new apprentices and passing on the knowledge and teaching the next generation of how to accomplish this task. This is like a core portion of this. Reverence. Remembrance Cocoa this a little bit. This, however, is the best case. When spirits of the dead unhealthy, unhappy, or neglected, it is possible for them to become restless or dangerous spirits. It is the duty, it is the responsibility of all put to rest these troublesome spirits. Okay, so I think we've got kind of a society built around kind of the worship of ancestors and ghosts. They're very spiritual. They tend to take very deep consideration when concerning their actions, because you concern your actions over multiple generations. You may have to see those results in a very real way hurt the people that come after you. And as a result of that, because you know you're going to have time as a spirit in the afterlife to see the generational results of your actions, they tend to consider things way more carefully in the Empire. Also, the spirits pose their own problems. If the spirits are unhappy, if they're neglected or abused, or if they're just forgotten, they can deteriorate and slip away into nothingness, Coco style, or they can become dangerous, restless spirits, troublesome creatures like wraiths and specters. And then it's up to nurse mediums as kind of like this combination, like social worker, counselor, and exterminator, to kind of like take care of these issues as they crop up and as the troubles begin. And that's the setup for the Caligarn Empire. What do you think? I think that's pretty good. Okay, we're gonna go with another Empress. Make her dwarf. Why not? By the name of Cortesia. Her father Drebengar. estate from beyond the grave. Why can't I spell council? Oh, council. It's with an E, not an I. Dope. Councils in matters of state from beyond the grave. The Prime Minister is a gentleman. Let's describe Maria a little bit more. Maria has black hair done up in elaborate braids. She is very young and inexperienced. She is shy and slow to act. Is taking steps to grow into her role and out of her uncertainty. So we've got this shy, dark-haired girl. She's got these long braids that she hangs on either side of her head. Maybe they go into like a hoop shape. And she's just very young. Like, she wasn't prepared for this throne when it happened. It was kind of thrust upon her, and as a result of it, she's very uncertain and very unsure. And defers quite heavily to the counsel of the spirits of her ancestors, because she just feels like she doesn't know enough to do anything. So she's very uncertain, very unsure. Fiery speaker. So the Prime Minister is a fiery speaker. I don't know why I need capitalize that. And Gabrielle Larange. Halfling gentleman who and career politician was the son of a wealthy miner. Political back of his incredible public speaking ability. Is boisterous and charming. Boisterous and charming. He has Melongar. Let's call it the Melongar Progressive Plague. Shy, we have the shy leader, the shy empress, who is uncertain of her power and uncertain of her leadership capability. And then we have this boisterous, big speaking halfling prime minister who has a lot of plans, has a lot of ambitions, and is maybe kind of pushing those limits, knowing that he has a very uncertain young empress at his back who maybe just doesn't know how to bring him in. And that's the kind of rough political situation of how this place sits and how it stands. And maybe he just doesn't have ghosts. Maybe that's a weird thing about him. Let's say... is an oddity. As he has no spirit advisors. He argues this keeps him from looking detractors. This keeps his focus on the future. So I got no spiritual advisors, but that's because I'm always looking ahead. Ghosts are always looking in the past. I'm looking forward. That's his whole position. That's his whole deal. Very driven man, this Gabriel Larange. I love it. So we've got the government, we've got the social situation, we've got kind of a rough idea of what the Melongar society looks like, where its people are standing, what their operations are right now. It's their whole deal. Save. Okay, Melongar Empire, sorry, Remvali Empire. Spelled it? Remvali. Got this. Put too many L's this time. Remvali Empire. The Remvali Empire is ruled by Old King Herdgberdiger. What do I want this guy to be? Let's go take a look. Let's take a look at all the races available. Who's it gonna be? Let's pick it out. Gonna eat another mini egg. Game rules races. I'm gonna make him tiefling. I'll tell you why. Amphibious poison. Poison immunity. Oh, grungs. Alright. What do I want to call this guy? I'm gonna make him a tiefling. Triltark. Old King Triltark. Melon. No. Dominus. Old King Triltark Dominus. Of tieflings defeated a devil, an archdevil. Devil. To the prime material world. To establish Really, Puck? You don't even know his full name? Oh, jeez. Jeez. How foolish. I am live, right? Like, this is up. Sorry. Maybe I should start a lot later. Nobody ever shows up till like 6. Well, if that's the case, I'm gonna play some tunes. Get those lo-fi beats going. Okay. Time to keep it for themselves. This, however, just explanation for the kingdom's founding is largely accepted by its populace. There's little to support it. Rose to power. death or his mother. Dominus. Cents. But never desired. Legitimate heir. So they've got this whole right of succession problem in Rumvali. The king hasn't sired a legitimate heir. He's getting much older. He is kind of the sole ruler of the nation. And they're beginning to worry that perhaps the royal family line is in danger of dying out. So that's kind of the main problem they've got in the Rumvali Empire. History. And it's heart. People will never allow themselves bound to masters of any kind. This has caused a society focuses heavily on self-reliance and community support. It is not uncommon when the community to be interviewed to determine what your worth to the community is. So they've got this whole, like, the Rumvali Empire is very much a place where, like, no gods or kings. And I realize that might be odd in a monarchy, but the king of the Remvali Empire is almost somewhat of an honorary title. It's more of a protector. So the king of the Remvali Empire is looked upon as somebody who is there when they need him. He is the person that, takes charge, guides people, leads people into battle, kind of the preeminent general of the nation when things go bad. And maybe because of that, he doesn't have the best reputation, because the Remvali Empire has lost land to Saskatoon, which is why it's somewhat diminished in size, and Saskatoon is so large. That'll be it. I think that's a good way to put it. I think this is a good starting point of it. I'll just see. Matters of state. There are several dozen of these. And they often disagree. However, in the Empire's long history, this can be relied upon to the greater good of the Empire as a whole. So you have these kind of different communities, and they don't always agree, they don't always get along, but like when the entire place is at stake, when there's a big problems, everything's in trouble, they tend to coalesce around a specific direction or a specific ideal. Real power enacted as means of managing warfare and disaster. In times of peace, treat the royal family is treated with gratitude, reverence, and gratitude. Yeah, there we go. 2 empires down. We've created it. We've got a whole thing going. Ugh, we're barely an hour in. That's a bit of writing. Oh my god. Okay. So I'm going to need a Rimvali coat of arms. Oh boy. Oh, chat. Listen to anime rap compilations, rap ciphers, I guess they're called. It's a lot of fun. Sweet. Just chatting with Roguzu while I'm doing this. All right. I think we got it. I think we got our empires sorted. I think we know who they are, what they're about, what their values are as nations. And those are the huge thing, because those are going to inform who they are as people if any of those people come to this place. What values and customs and ideals they'll bring with them. And I think that's a good lesson for world building. Because in the campaign I'm going to run for this, we're never going to go to these places. Like, we're never going to live here. This is never going to be a place that we go to. But it's important to know what the people from these nations are like, what their lives would be like when they live there, because that is going to inform their customs and their belief systems and their disposition if they're encountered in this other place. So if the players meet somebody from the Caligarn Empire, it's important to know who that person is. So the person from the Caligarn Empire is going to be somebody who thinks carefully about the decisions, who values the counsel of elders and the deceased, and who maybe knows a little bit of necromancy. So that's going to be something that's going to need to be considered. If they meet somebody from the Rimvali Empire, it's going to be somebody who has deep values for their own independence and also has a deep sense of community. And they're definitely going to feel very fish out of water if they go into a place where everybody's just kind of working for themselves. These things, while you may never go to those places, it's important to know what those people are about. So, good world building, blah, 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 blah. Good world building lesson for today. Well, I tapped the microphone. Even if you're never going to some places, if you're going to have people from those places, it needs to be fleshed out enough for you to be able to tell who those people are. Right? Like, if you meet somebody who grew up in France, and then you meet somebody who grew up in Spain, those two people are going to have a different set of ideals and likes and dislikes and just general experiences in life and values in life based on their upbringing, because the cultures are different. So, something to think about. Something to think about as you make your worlds. You don't need to fully establish, I don't need to get into what the towns are and what the capitals are and who lives where and what's where, but I do need to know what the people in those areas are like. So I need to know who the rulers are, what the cultures are like, what are the customs like in the area, what they value, what they hold dear, what they don't value. And I think we've established that pretty well here. At least enough for us to be able to tell what these people are like. But that's the lesson. Flesh out all of your territories to the point that you can understand the people who live there. And then if you're not going there, that's all you need to do. Let's return to the maps, shall we? Okay, this one. All right. So, I think I'm going to have to work out the New Haven Plains a little bit. That's what I think I'm going to need to do a little bit. So let's work out our New Haven Plains a little bit, shall we? Because this is going to be kind of a big starting point. So it's going to matter what's in there, what the people there are like and about. It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it slow. As you're young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to go through. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me, I am old, but I'm happy. Was once how you are now. It's not easy. You should always get something going on. Take the time, think a lot. Think of everything you've got. You may still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. How can I try to explain? When I do, he turns away again. It's always been the same old story. From the moment I could talk, I was told to listen. Now there's a way that I know that I have to go away. And I know I have to go. Trying to get viewers, so I probably shouldn't be singing. Let's crank up that width. Make it wider. Oh God, excuse me. Make a change. Take it slowly. You're still young. That's your fault. So much you have to go through. Find a girl. Settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me. Okay. Bridges are all too fancy, I guess is my problem. I need a less fancy bridge. There's a bridge. There's a wooden bridge, or like a brick bridge. Let's go with a stone bridge. Itch. I suppose I got plenty of ticks. I think we need some towns here. I don't want a city. I want like a town. Just like a little town. So I'm going to put a town here. So a couple small towns in the area. Just kind of lining up some people. Situation, no, you make a better stick it. Maybe we're going to shrink this down a little bit more. Or maybe I would need to make this all bigger. I don't know. I don't know. I have difficulty with scale, right? Like that's big enough. I don't know. I guess we're just gonna go with it. I'm gonna maybe expand the river a little bit more. I kind of like having these little islands in the middle. Maybe I'll just keep those. Because, like, you know, that's rivers, they don't wash away completely clear. Like, there's always tends to be these small portions in between. not what I wanted. Ah! Ah! Alright, so we got Fort Settleguard. We'll probably shrink that down a bit too. There should be more farmlands here too. So maybe we'll do this. Well, okay. Lose that. Put this up. Let's dot the terrain a little bit. Shall we? I think we should. Okay. I'll put these big oak trees here. So we got these big oak trees, and then surrounding those we've got a little bit less density, kind of these dotted evergreens, kind of throughout, and then filling that in, we've got some deciduous. Deciduous trees. Lower density on those. Okay. And then we've kind of covered up our label for the land, so maybe we should bring that up a little bit. Ghostlands. Ghostlands? There we go. New Haven Plains. Alright, up to the top. So that's always there. And we got the New Haven Plains. We got some forests going on. Like a pond. Is this like a thing? Choose yeah. Let's bring this up a little bit. Oh shit. No, that's not what I wanted. But I can still use this. There we go. I got this kind of like intermesh mountain here to kind of firmly create like this gateway to the rest of the world. That's what I wanted. That's what I'm looking for. So there's no like lakes, so if I want to create a lake, I just have to build something. But again, Alright, now we've got it. Now you might ask yourself, why are there all these circular lakes in the land? And I'll say, I ain't gonna tell you. Because that's a secret. That's a secret. I'm keeping to myself. As you go further north, there's less and less of these kind of deciduous oaks, and there's more and more of these evergreen trees. They're kind of all throughout the deeper and deeper and further in you get. Everybody wants a box of chocolates, the long stem rose. But everybody knows, and everybody knows that there's Muffy baby. Everybody knows that I'm talking. Uzu's gonna come on next Saturday, guys. Not this Saturday, but like next Saturday. Everybody knows. Boy, I better have some stuff to build by the time that comes around. Guys, we're talking to Rogue Uzu, who's a cool person that I met early on when they started making content, and I fully support them, and you should check them out as well. If you haven't already, highly recommend them. Doing great work out there. Oh, God. Bam. All right. Now that I'm done talking to other people and setting up future episodes, I'm going to go ahead and continue working on this. So these towns need names, yo. Be a bigger on your head and disclose what everybody knows. In trouble, everybody knows you've been through. From the bloody crust on top of Calgary to the streets of Malibu. Everybody knows you've been apart. Take one last look at your deep red heart, or it glows. Everybody knows. There we go. That's what I want. I just want the hills. I don't want to incarnate. If I just want to make some hills and stuff, you gotta let me just make some stuff. Just because just because I wanted big things in one scenario doesn't mean I don't want, like, oh, goddamn. Alright, this is the New Haven Plains. Hated me. My parents hated me. I was always in a fight, 'cause I can't do nothing right. The mirror. Can't stand the person looking back at me. I'm a hazard to myself. Let's watch. So irritating. I don't want to be my friend no more. I want to be somebody else. I'll be somebody else. Real big one here. Bam. What's that all about? I don't know. Maybe ask me later. Anyway. There's things I'm doing. We'll do that there. Bam. I think I got this fleshed out. I think I've got it visually what I was going for. Probably used to be more forests in the area, and maybe we'll kind of spot that out a bit. You know, just like a little bit of, maybe shrink those down. Go maybe an area of 1, 7. Shrink them trees down a little bit. Okay. Bit of the oak trees. Some of them along maybe the, yep. Kind of spotted throughout. And I need room for my farms. I'm an idiot. Get me. What should I call this town? Don't let me get me. I'm my only enemy. Let's go to the top of this. Okay, New Haven Plains. Maybe we'll just keep that here. Maybe we'll bring the opacity up a little bit. Go with, this is Sullen Watch? No. Because this would be one of the first places that, like, noticed that everything was going wrong, right? This would be one of the first places that noticed, like, across the river, people are dying. And it's not good. I know what this is going to be. I'm going to lose the curve. No curve. No. AQ. What the hell? Okay. Zero. Want zero curve. Hey, K-Grams. How's it going? Come follow me, son, the time will be revealed, and you'll understand our plans. Castle and halls mighty and tall, and there's murals with many visitors and on along the walls. Alright, that's called Light's Watch. The reason we're going to call it Light's Watch, because this is the town that is, like, primarily to watch when last light is coming. It's the responsibility of each town. Well, I mean, tormenting a little bit. It's not a nice place, like, but I've mostly just kind of been like fleshing out worlds and empires and that kind of stuff primarily. But now I'm building this kind of the starting zone of this place, New Haven Plains, which is probably going to be one of the safest places that the players go in their journeys. That being said, not completely safe. Alright, this one. Curve. 0 curve. That's going to be Light's Watch. Let's call it Mourner's Creek. Why is it called Mourner's Creek? Because this is where the heartbroken people stood as they watched across the river and saw the various settlements in the Ghost Lands during the spring of the first winter in the Treasured Expanse, when they saw the areas of the Ghost Lands were completely abandoned come spring, that all of the residents that chose to stay north of the river had disappeared and were gone, never to be seen again. And this is where that news hit hardest and where everybody watched, at Mourner's Creek. And the town was named after that event. Mourner's Creek. I was out of control. Thought I knew and the sea was not worth wasting your time with things that destroy your soul. Gather the pieces to the puzzle. Should probably bring up the opacity. There we go. Mourner's Creek. I want the walled city. I want the thing. There we go. Those are intentionally perfectly round lakes. And they kind of dot the landscape in this place. These round lakes with high banks on the edges are dotted throughout the Treasured Expanse. Nobody quite knows why. It's one of the mysteries of the land. And they vary in size quite drastically. Some are quite small and some are just enormous. And some overlap with like other rivers and streams to create these odd kind of circular formations and indentations and things. Why is it there? Who knows? But they're there. I know. I'm not going to tell anybody, but I know. And this is Haven's Gate. Turning, turning, turning on you. Very small after all. Oh. All right. So, I mean, why would they be intentionally round? Who knows? It might speak to something that has happened in this nation, in this land's history. I'm sure we'll come across it. But now that you mention it, there should be some of these up here. And I think there's one here. Nope, nope, nope. I don't want to move you. I want to move you. Right here. Hey, Rusty, how's it going? It's going all right. I'm just creating this land for the next game. It's coming along. I'm actually gonna delete those. I'm clear cutting in real time. Oh, this is expansion and takeover. Alright. Human town set. I want a farm. I need a good farm. Let's find us a farmhouse. Archery range. No, I don't like that. Bakery. Sure. Let's look at these farms. What do we got? Oh, there we go. There's a nice little farmhouse. I like the look of this. And I don't want to do this in an area. I want to do this just straight up. Yeah, look, I mean, I'm sad to see the old campaign go too, but I'm also... It's a mixture for me. I'm a little bit relieved. I'm a little bit relieved because when I started doing the show, I had no idea it would become what it is now. It was never made with that as an expected end result, you know what I mean? So when it got there, when it started to get there, there was a lot of stuff I probably would have done differently early on. And I probably would have made my world differently. And I know that's difficult to say with things, you know, being what they are and time and whatnot, but I like the idea of starting from scratch. And especially even just having what I have now in my current group of players, to have a group of people that I know is going to just be there. Like, everybody that's on the show right now is pretty much on board to keep doing the show for however long, right? So I know I'm going to have my cast consistent. Yeah, at least I won't have to keep trying to outdo myself. I can start fresh. And also it's nice because I couched my original world in the Forgotten Realms, like in the very in the lore that already exists in 5e. And I wanted to create something brand new, like something completely from scratch. And that's what I'm doing with this. This is gonna be unconnected from everything else. Oh, I'll be excited for next week's episode too, now that I gotta unwrap a Death Knight and fire it on my team now. Figure out how that's gonna work. Everybody's gonna get messed up by a Death Knight and Lilith's gonna try to seduce him. I don't know how this is gonna go. But it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be interesting. Okay, let's farms. Let's go with a little farmhouse here. Let's move that farmhouse out a bit. There we go. All right. So I've got this place kind of set up a little bit. Yeah, he went all in. He set that up for what he wanted it to be. And like part of me when he was doing it, I was like, is he just getting rid of the giants so he doesn't have to fight them? But no, he had a plan. He was going to throw the Death Knight in. And he's a sweet boy. Because he almost made that Death Knight Craylon Wright. But I love Craylon Wright. I think Craylon Wright is one of the best characters I introduced in the last season. He's one of my all-time favorite NPCs that I ever made. And in fact, I wanted to make later, when I have some actual money and stuff, I want to commission like a Vroid character of Craylon Wright to use. So yeah, I really want that. Yeah, like, man, all that stuff. Like, we were perhaps too ambitious. Like, we put all these things together, and it was great to have all those setups and everything, but it was so complicated to manage. And I'm so thankful for the fact that everybody enjoyed this amalgamation of everything, having the two series together and everything like that. But, like, I had such a hard time managing it, and I personally am not satisfied with how I managed the two. I feel like I made a ton of mistakes. So, I don't know, like I want to change it up a little bit, you know? Oh yeah, I could full color Hero Forge him. I think we still got a couple with Hero Forge as it is. But I do want to commission sexy skin tight armor remove Death Knight. Yeah, I gotta put him in there too. It's all good stuff. Yeah, no, I love Craylon. Craylon's top shelf all the way. I'm excited to start things new because we had so many changes that occurred throughout the course of doing the Mercs of Mischief show that I kind of felt like I stumbled a lot along the ways. It wasn't always what I wanted it to be, and we lost a lot of plot threads. And I think it's time to walk away from it and create something from scratch that we know what we want it to be in the end, you know? It's kind of how I'm looking at it. So I've got this. This is my new world. This is the first zone of it. This is kind of like new settlement territory. We've got the Ghostlands. I wonder if I've got... Must be kidding. New magic, material life. I'm listening to like anime rap ciphers while I do this. Okay, let's name our towns a little bit, shall we? I did let them go buck wild in my world. That is something that occurred a lot. And now I'm going to give them a whole new world to go buck wild in. With new opportunities and new troubles. And a new story. And a new place. So, let's learn a little bit more of the locations that we have here, shall we? Let's do some notes. The most fun part of D&D. The typing. Fort Settleguard. Fort Settleguard is the last line of defense for the Empire's settlement capitals. it holds the responsibility of warning and protecting the surrounding settlements, as well as being the last line of defense should a threat in the treasured expanse arrive. The spelling bad on this, and it doesn't have spell check in here, so I'm sorry ahead of time. So that's going to be an ongoing thing. The fort is staffed by the Saskatoon Royal Army and a rotating cast. So, we've got our two main players on the board, for those of you who aren't caught up. The Saskatoon Empire, the Caligarn Empire. Saskatoon Empire is very much a kind of newer monarchy. And then we also have the Caligarn Empire, which is kind of governed by a collection of corporations. The whole thing is about corporations. Lilith is not prepared to seduce this Death Knight. Girl wants to seduce every dude that shows up. And I don't know, man. Like, it's a Death Knight. I'm not sure if his parts even work anymore. It's hard to seduce a dude that's got no drive, you know what I mean? He doesn't want for anything anymore. Just make him gay. That could work too. But anyways, we got two sides. So the Caligarn Empire, because it is very like a collection of corporations and that kind of thing, has no designated standing military. It has a bunch of kind of military contractors and mercenary groups, and the collection of mercenary groups that run the kind of general defense of the Caligarn Empire is called the Chimera, because it is 3 different branches. So Fort Settleguard would, of course, have a contingent of the Royal Saskatoon military. I don't know if I want to. I guess we'll let the dice decide. We'll see how it goes out in the end. Man, I can only imagine. I can only imagine how it's going to turn out. It's going to be a weird day again. Again with the weird dayness. So, Saskatoon Royal Army is going to have rotating Caligarn soldiers. They tend to spend most of their time responding to disputes and bizarre monster sightings. The failure of the Frontier Knights has led the armies of Fort Settleguard yeah, but I already did that with I already played that card. You like the corporate dystopian civilization? Thank you, Rusty. Pseudo police force of the region. Okay, so that's what Fort Settleguard is all about. The building. Okay, but yeah, no. What I was gonna say is I kind of blew the stringing Lilith along into like a betrayal thing with Jarlaxle, and I don't know if I could do it again. I could try. She'd probably fall for it if I'm being completely honest. I know my players pretty well at this point, and if I just have somebody who keeps flattering Lilith and inflating her ego and making her think that she's just the best person in the world, she'll usually just go along with it. If I'm putting bones or necromancy on the trap, it's Sky's gonna walk into it. If I it's if I want to trap Norbog, I need to put a cute animal in danger, or like a young child, or one of her teammates, but she's also moving away from that, so we'll see how that goes. Kashano's probably the hardest one because Kashano doesn't trust anybody. But yeah, I know how to trap my players. I guess it could work. It could work. Alright, so Fort Settleguard, we've got rotating guard contingent from the different empires. The two empires that operate here, the Caligarn Empire, are kind of corporate dystopia, where basically if you're not part of a powerful company, you're either working on your own small business, or employees are kind of the lowest rung of society. You have to start, it's very much like Rapture on steroids, is the entire Caligarn Empire. With a high emphasis on like innovation, new ideas, new inventions, new businesses, but tons of corruption at the top. They have a powerful military in the form of their contractors, but they only have those contractors because those contractors know if the Caligarn Empire ever falls, they will no longer have places to operate. It's a symbiotic relationship. They can only exist because the Caligarn Empire exists. And if the Caligarn Empire falls, they can no longer exist, and they'll be out of jobs as well. So they need the two. Absolutely great dedication to them. I can always trust them that if I present them with an obvious trap for their characters, even if the players know, they'll probably just go for it anyways. And I've got some of the best players in the world. I'll be the first one to say it. So, Fort Settleguard, Saskatoon Empire, Caligarn mercenaries. The fort was originally intended to be strictly a military structure, but there was a program to create a police force in this new land. It was called the Frontier Knights. The Frontier Knights suck. Everybody knows they suck, and they're not recruiting new Frontier Knights. They're just kind of waiting for them to die out in hopes that they'll go away. But because the Frontier Knights suck, Fort Settleguard has kind of been pushed into a policing role that isn't their job because there's nobody else to do it. Okay, so it was created after the first winter in the treasured expanse. It was feared that whatever was causing people to disappear in the winter cold would be a larger threat that required military answer. It was the first time the encampments felt under attack. So, those of you who don't know, the key conceit of this place is this is a new world. We have two empires settling here, both for different reasons, in a kind of uneasy peace. They've come to this place to settle and everything. The weird thing is it's completely unpopulated. There's nobody here. The soil is verdant. The resources are abundant. The place is beautiful. However, first winter comes in this place, and every settlement every settlement north of flowing water, all of the residents vanish. They completely disappear. Nobody knows why. Eventually, after a couple years here, they realize that once winter hits in this land, if you are a living, breathing being that is north of flowing water, you will not make it through the winter. You will vanish. You will disappear in the blowing snow, and no one will know what happened to you. And they've been unable to determine what is happening to these people. So the answer has just become that you just don't be beyond you don't be north of flowing water when winter comes. You just don't go there. It's a mystery. We can't figure out how to solve it, so protect yourself, don't go there. That's the idea. Now, they haven't found all of this land. They don't know how far it goes. They're kind of exploring to the east to kind of see what this place is and what mysteries it holds. And on top of that, besides the fact that it is completely uninhabited, they are finding these ancient troves underground, occasionally when the developing cities are exploring, just full of treasures and magical items. Where do they come from? Why are they there? Nobody knows. Nobody knows who built them. Nobody knows who left them behind. So there's a lot of questions about this place. A lot of things that happen. So the time when winter comes, because the winters are still very harsh and cold in this place, besides the whole fact that if you're north of flowing water, you'll fucking vanish. They call when winter comes, when the first day of winter comes, it's called Last Light. So when Last Light comes, you need to be south of flowing water, and you need to have enough supplies and shelter to last the winter. So the society that's kind of built up in this area, in this new world, in this place, is all about making it to last light in a survivable capacity. So you need to have supplies, you need to have a safe place to stay, and you need to be south of flowing water. The rest of the time of the year is kind of built around gathering materials, making money, gaining resources, and preparing for those moments. So you have settlers from different empires coming to this place, trying to live their lives in this new world, with different hopes and dreams and possibilities. You have the two empires that want different things from this place. Both are using it as a means of gaining wealth. One's is using it as a means of avoiding revolution. So there's different goals that they're looking for with this place, but they're both in an uneasy peace with each other in an effort to get as much out of this place as possible. And that's where our players come in. And this is kind of the first easiest area for them to go into. So we have, if we go ahead and save, to the rising sun and run, run, run. Do, run, run. Do, run. All right, so we've got Promethean Point. We've got Pride's Reach. Promethean Point, that is the Caligarn Empire. It's basically a corporate port city. The whole thing is built around Promethean Point shipping services. It's a giant shipyard. The whole place is built around shipping and receiving goods, and plus around the edges you have a collection of shops and taverns and just places. And then of course we have the Slackjaw Mine, operated by the Caligarn Empire to gather resources. And then we've got this bridge kind of separating the two settlements of the empires. And then we have the Treaty Woods, which is the kind of first peace agreement that they had, was to share these woods with each other. Pride's Reach is the Saskatoon Empire's main fort. They've got this area as well. And then we've got our Fort Settleguard. They've chosen this place because they've got this huge mountain range kind of protecting them from the rest of the land, kind of blocking things off and ensuring that whatever comes their way, it's going to be bottlenecked as long as it's not flying. Foreshadowing! So we have our corporate town of Promethean Point. Pride's Reach was built to be as lavish and as beautiful looking as possible. It was built with the idea that people coming here from the Saskatoon Empire should feel like this is the most comfortable, beautiful place in the world to be. It was there to incentivize new settlers to not leave when they came to the new world. So it is one of the most lavish places in the Treasured Expanse. Hey, you could play in this world. I'm running games in it. I'm running test games in it. I'm doing them on, well, I'm trying to do them on Thursdays and Saturdays, but nobody signs up for them. But, yeah, I'm doing it. Where's my... Or dragons. Let me tell you about dragons. Let me tell you about dragons in this world. Before I do that, let me do this. Boom, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Bam, I'm running games in this world. There's a little bit of money for it, but whatever. That's that's a thing that happens. It's a one-time thing. You can sign up and run in the world. But I am running test games to it. I put the link in the thing. Part of why I'm doing these streams is just kind of put it out so I can get more players into the world and get them to try it out and see what it's like. And yeah, roll with that. But anyways, let me tell you about dragons in this world. Return to your maps. Okay, so this is our world map as we know it, for the most part. So, where the empires all reside, we have our Caligarn Empire, our Saskatoon Empire, our Remvali Empire, and our Melangar Empire. They're all kind of living in an uneasy peace right now. And then we have the Scale Lands. The Scale Lands is monster territory. It's ruled by dragons. Nobody goes into the Scale Lands. That is dragon land. It is dragon sovereign land. And you do not want to piss off the dragons. It is theorized. It is theorized, ancient legends, that when the empires were first established, they went to war. I should really open up some slots in the Patreon game. I think I got room for like 1 or 2 more. Let's check my players. But anyways. So it's theorized that when the empires were first established, they fought back the dragons to get the land that they got. And that the Scale Lands are just this kind of sovereign territory. And you're not allowed to touch it. And if you do touch it, if you violate the sovereignty of the Scale Lands, it is believed that the dragons will come kick your ass in a very serious and very profound way. So it's just kind of accepted that you do not go into the Scale Lands. You do not go in the Scale Lands for the specific reason of it will cause trouble for you in a very immediate way, and will cause very long-term trouble for your empire. If that can be. As far as anybody knows, there are no dragons in the Treasured Expanse. There are no cats in America. Is the phrase I like to use. Because that, you know, it comes back to that whole idea from Feifel goes, Feifel's American Tale. There are no cats in America. There's no dragons in the Treasured Expanse. It doesn't happen. Or does it? I provoke the dragons. And that's not even where our story takes place. Our story takes place here, in this new world. They've only been here for 15 years, but they've learned some things. Number 1, don't be north of the rivers after last light. Number 2, weird treasure troves all over the place. Number 3, monsters and creatures nobody has ever seen before are being found in this land. So I'm going to be using some really weird shit in this campaign. I'm going to be using weird, off-the-wall kind of monsters and beasts that you don't normally see in games. Exactly. It's a dark place we don't speak about, and because of the nature of the Scale Lands, because of the history and the kind of legends around it, Dragonborn are treated with an amount of fear and reverence in this society. There's always this worry that Dragonborn people have this connection to the dragons of the Scale Lands. So they, it's, I should come up with a saying for this. If you disrespect a Dragonborn, the Scale Lands shudder. Like, just something like that. Man, that's a good, I'm gonna write that down. Local saying means be careful how you speak. When you disrespect the Dragonborn, the Scale Lands quake, I love it. It sounds great. I love little details like that. I love little world building stuff. Where it's just like, oh, here's a local saying and it comes from this. Alright, Mourner's Creek. It is said that when spring rose on the first winter in the treasured expanse, friends and loved ones of those who settled north of the river, the land now known as the Ghostlands, gathered in this place to watch in horror as one by one the settlements were all revealed dead and abandoned, with no trace of their original residence. A statue commemorating these settlers can be seen overlooking the river. Hopeful faces gazing on new lives that never come to be. I like that. That's kind of dark, and that's kind of like creates this it creates the gravity of that first winter, of what it was like and what the horror and confusion that went on in that first spring in the treasured expanse, where spring came and all of a sudden you realized that anybody you knew that was north of the river is just gone. Not a trace to be found. Every single one of them gone. No idea where they went. No idea what happened to them. And, you know, so of course it was a difficult time for a lot of people. People were terrified. They don't know what to do. Maybe we shouldn't have come to this place. Never come to be. Farmer turned governor. Ogden Brigsley. Brother Elmer and his family had a farm north of the river in the first winter. It is rumored that the commemorative statue in town, depicts Elmer and his family. Ogden is from the Caligarn Empire, but holds no loyalties to any empire, and sees himself and his town as an independent state. Just like that, I've established what this town is like and who lives there and what the guy operating it is like. World building is that easy. So we have this place, and the whole premise of this place is built around the idea of mourning people. Its founding is built around the idea of mourning people who died in that first winter in the treasured expanse. Its mayor was there for the first winter 15 years ago, and he lost his brother and his family. So a whole family of people wiped out, disappeared off the face of the earth. And he has no affiliation with any empire, and he sees this as an independent city-state. This is his place, and it's his town, and he runs it as such. Done. Mourner's Creek, settled. I love it. I'm already into it. Lights Watch. Up the watching for last light. The first day of winter, when the cold winds begin to move south, bringing with them deep cold and sheets of snow. When last light is near, the city lights a tall beacon. Town lights. When last light is near, the town lights a tall, bright beacon and rings a massive bell. To signal to other settlements that winter has arrived. This responsibility also comes with the danger of being connected to the only bridge to the north side of the river. Primary passageway for any settlers or explorers looking to move north. I mean, look, I steal from a lot of stuff too. And that's kind of why, and that's what's the other thing that made me want to do like this new stuff is I wanted to do something that didn't have as much kind of like ripped from other pop culture and other Dungeons & Dragons streams and stuff. I wanted to create something that was more my own than anything else. And this, like, I'm basing a lot of this off of like ancient Canadian history, but I'm embellishing it a little bit, making it a fantasy world. Operated by Royal Saskatoon Trading Company. Mayor is also the of the town and the trade and commerce of the region's residents. Okay, so the Royal Saskatoon Trading Company is the economic branch of the Saskatoon Empire. they have an owner, and the owner operates in the Saskatoon capital. He has a major representative that operates in the Treasured Expanse in Pride's Reach, and almost serves as a kind of pseudo prime minister in the region. Each of the regions will have their own Royal Saskatoon Trading Company city or town. And they'll have a representative that operates as a kind of regional manager / mayor of those areas. And that's just kind of the way they structure it. Most of these guys will tend to be pretty stuffy dudes. I mean, they're business managers, right? They were selected to ensure that everything continues to run smoothly and none of the settlements collapse. So they care about the people that exist in their regions, but they care about them much in the same way a person cares about an amount of livestock. So it's like, okay, you know, if too many settlers die, I'm not going to have enough people to run this settlement, and the whole thing's going to collapse, and that's not good for me. I can't have that. So I need to fix it. And that's the kind of mindset for a lot of these guys. It might vary, like the alignment might vary from person to person. But, you know, it'll vary on a case-by-case basis. Let's name this guy. What should we call him? Rusty, you were here. You were here during the creation of it. I've been by myself most of the night. Tell you what if I called this guy? What if I called him Rusty Wrangland? Rusty Wrangland. Right? Well, I mean, look, the Canadian history is mostly economics, bad deals, and then just like slowly moving out of the British Empire's basement. This is why I've embellished it with fantasy. But I mean, I based this around the idea of, because my ex-wife worked in a place called Fort Edmonton Park. It's like this colonial town where I used to live in Edmonton. And when Canada was first established, it was a series... Rusty Shackelford. Look, oh God, I want to put a Rusty Shackelford into... yeah, so like when Canada was established, all of the settlements in Canada were built around trading companies. It was a place that for the longest time nobody cared about because it's like this giant frozen land, this harsh landscape that's difficult to manage and difficult to live in. The settlements that were there were all very close to the eastern coast and didn't want to go any further. But it was established that beaver pelts were all the rage back in Europe. People wanted beaver pelt, or they wanted beaver skins to make hats. And Canada had a lot of beavers and a lot of big ones too. So the fur trade was the whole big thing, and that's what caused people to explore deeper into Canada and establish these different trading posts and expand the land in which Canada encompassed. So it's a little bit of that, but without the fur trading. I'm going to call this one Wrangland. I'm going to say some people know him as Rusty Shackelford. I'm going to put that as a rumor. Okay? Is that good? Is that good? Good, like, common ground? Present human man of a slim build with round glasses. He smokes cigarettes and wears, can always be seen wearing a hat. Can you see what I'm doing here? I mean, look, we got lots of beavers. It's a thing. We got beavers everywhere. Being at his post. They're perfect ovals, and they're also water resistance. So that was the reason that people liked the beaver pelts so much for hats, is because the beaver pelts, the fur, because the fur was water repellent, was perfect material to make water resistant hats throughout Europe. And that was the whole big thing. In the treasured expanse. There are rumors that his time in the new territory has made him paranoid and perhaps a little mad. Some people know him as Rusty Shackleford. There we go. I think I did it. So I was rooting through my basement the other day. I'll talk about this. And I found this book full of like this Alberta wildlife guide book. Actually makes perfect sense in a world. I mean, it does. That was a huge thing. Beaver pelt hats were all the rage in Europe at the time Canada was expanding. And Canada expanded to fill that need. That's the only reason most of Canada exists, is because people in Europe loved beaver pelt hats. That's the way it is. Canada might only have ever been like Quebec and Toronto and like Montreal and PEI had Europe not developed a taste for beaver pelt hats. Right? Isn't that crazy? History's wild. What was I talking about? Yeah, I got this book full of like, it's just like this Alberta wildlife guide. And I started looking through it and I'm like, I'm going to go on so many walks in the springtime and look at all these animals. It's great. I love it. Okay, so that's Light's Watch. The town acts as a kind of river boats. settlers away from northern settlements. Settlers wishing to return to the empires. Many trade routes. Leading to a busy merchant economy. Okay, so it's a big kind of merchant town. It's the main place to keep an eye out for winter. You got Rusty in there. Rusty's a little crazy. And then we've got... and it's run by the Saskatoon Empire. Let's go to Haven Gate. What did I name the other region? I forgot. Come on, brain. Save. See this one. Oh, burping. Okay, the Shrouded Hills. Let's call it the Shrouded Hills. So this is the main gateway to the Shrouded Hills. Got it. Built along the main road leading to the Shrouded Hills. I'm gonna get you. Why have you come to my town? Have you seen my friend Hank? Main road leading to the Shrouded Hills. Established. I mean, it might be a little bit like that. We'll see how it's characterized when the players finally meet them. They'll be kooky and strange. It'll be all weird and crazy. Well, I don't know if I'm going to go with the fur trading part of this, but maybe it is a beaver trapper, just for fun. Ton Fazelbatch. None of your NPCs are nuts. No, none of them. None of them are crazy. Most of them are. That's a batch. Maybe. I do love my Clambo guy. But lost the land to after a dispute with... Damn it, I forgot that dude's name. Felix Bryan Sale. Fuck, I forgot what I named the guy already. Fuck, I'll just name him after K-Grams. Cartwright Grams. Yeah, Felix Bryan Sale is the name of the guy who operates the main city, the main town. He's a Triton, and he runs it as a shipping company. This guy, Cartwright Grams, the gnome, when he established the town of Heaven's Gate through a contract with the Caligarn Empire, he originally wanted the land where Light's Watch is, but he couldn't get it because he was delayed by a dispute with Felix Bryan Sale over whether or not he could have shipping rights in the river, since Felix Bryan Sale is a very greedy, enterprising man. So the idea that somebody else would have shipping rights in the land where he was meant to operate, he was pissed about it. He was like, I should run the rivers as well as the sea. But Cartwright Grams greased enough palms back home that he was able to make this happen, although he was delayed and didn't get the land he wanted. Oh, I built Felix Bryan Sale as like a I imagine him as like a California business bro. It's like, yo, dude, I got them 401ks. Have you heard about Bitcoin? Like, he's like one of those dudes. Like, I just want him to be this Silicon Valley business bro dude that runs a shipping company. And I want that to be his whole deal. With Caligarn Empire. Yeah, right? Despite this back. Yes, I did. You guys come out here and hung out with me while I built this, so I gave you guys both an NPC. It's my gift to you. Well, I'm glad you guys like it. All right, so yeah, Cartwright is basically at economic war with Felix Brinesale, who operates Promethean Point. Felix Brinesale is infinitely more powerful, but Cartwright Grimes was very much better connected, and because of that, he was able to snatch the shipping rights from for the rivers right out from under Felix Brinesale, and Felix Brinesale hates him for it. Cartwright is mad at Felix Brinesale because he couldn't get the land he wanted because of Brinesale's meddling. So they're always just constantly shooting jabs at each other. Like, oh yeah, you don't like that? Well, I'm going to charge you more fees for sending your shipments up. Oh yeah, well, you don't like that? Then I'm going to delay your shipments so you don't get your shit on time. So they're just always doing stuff against each other, and they just have this bitter rivalry. So if players go to Haven's Gate, they might get a mission to mess with Felix Brinesale in some way. And if they go to Promethean Point, they might get a mission to mess with Cartwright Grimes in some way. Greatest accomplishments. Results. Treasures his company dearly. Many residents of the town have built their own businesses to take advantage of the river travelers and trade. River traffic, travelers, and trade that moves through the town. Establishing a series of shops, provisioners, inns, taverns, fishing, and shipbuilding companies. Absolutely. Now you just know more about this world now than a lot of the players are going to know going into it. A thorough planner and humor as dry as white toast, please. Absolutely. You know what? I'll put it in. And I would say he's a thorough planner because he did pull one over a dude that was specifically selected and won the contracts to operate all the shipping out of this new continent. So he came very much with less power at a dude who had way more power and way more money than him and pulled one over on him. So I would say he's definitely a careful planner. Most travelers stop in Haven's Gate further east. Love it. Well, guys, I dare say we've done a fair amount of world building today. I've established 2 empires. Let's review, shall we? Actually, let's name this too. Haven Woods. Let's call it Haven Woods. Alright, so let's review what we created, shall we? We have a madman and a cold, calculating businessman. And a cold, calculating businessman that pulled one over on a richer, more powerful businessman. And I like that even better. I love the idea of that character, because it must piss Felix Brinesail off so much that it's someone that is financially and like in terms of position lower than him pulling this deal over on him. It must have just fucking, oh, he must have been so pissed. Okay, to review, we established, because we hadn't really fleshed out our Remvali and our Melangar Empire. So we went into the Melangar Empire, and we decided that our Melangar Empire is a constitutional monarchy. It is governed by a prime minister and ruled by an empress. The Melangar society is based around a reverence for ancestors. Their knowledge and counsel is still valued and treasured long after their death. This is achieved through the services of local shamans skilled in necromancy that are able to conjure spirits of the dead and assist them with any problems that they have. These shamans, these necromancy people, are called nurse mediums. It's a very high-class position in the society. It's very important. It's revered. They're almost like local community leaders or wet nurses or midwives. They're very important people in the society. Highly valued, and they're trained through a kind of master-apprentice system. If you want to become a nurse medium, you need another senior nurse medium to take you on as an apprentice. Jobs of nurse mediums are to be the bridge between the living and the dead. They're supposed to counsel spirits and take care of people's relationships with their spirits and ancestors. They're also supposed to assist with any spirits that have been degraded. So the problems with spirits in this society is that sometimes if a spirit is forgotten or mistreated or just begins to degrade and decay, they can become restless spirits, or they can become problematic or dangerous spirits. That's where the nurse mediums tend to come in. They act as counselors and, in some cases, exterminators to rid the world of these spirits or help them pass on, or, I mean, in some cases, just remove them from difficult situations. They also help people if their spirits are having trouble. Oh yeah, look, I built this place almost completely for Sky. So as a result of this, the culture in this place is very spiritual. You take very good care when you make decisions in this place to consider the repercussions through multiple generations, because you know that you could be a spirit viewing the repercussions of your actions through multiple generations, and you will have to answer for those with your children and your children's children. So it's a whole society of very careful thinkers. The Empress of Melangar is a dwarf woman by the name of Maria Cortesia. Her father was Drebengar Cortesia. He perished in a war with the Saskatoon Empire and now counsels his daughter in the matters of states, far beyond the grave. Maria has black hair. It's done up in elaborate braids. She's very young and inexperienced. She's shy and slow to speak her mind, but she's trying to grow into her role and kind of decide who she is as a ruler. The Prime Minister is a fiery speaker named Gabriel Larange, a halfling gentleman who is a career politician. He's the son of a wealthy mine owner, and he kind of rocketed to political prominence due to his incredible public speaking methods and just his ability to rally people behind his cause. He's a bit of an oddity in the society because he has no counselor spirits. He has no spirits that counsel him from his past. He spins this to his detractors by saying because he has no spirits, he's never looking back, he's always looking forward. He wants to see the Caligarn Empire expand on the world stage and have a more prominent position in society and in the world. So that's our Caligarn Empire. Our Remvali Empire. Our Remvali Empire is ruled by the king Triltarch Dominus, an ancient tiefling ruler. Legend has it that the Remvali Empire was founded when a group of tieflings defeated an archdevil and escaped to the prime material world to establish this new kingdom for themselves. While this explanation for the kingdom's founding is largely accepted by its populace, there's little evidence to support it. Triltarch rose to power after the death of his mother, Queen Fabricia Dominus. About 60 years since his passing, he was married several times, but never sired a legitimate heir. The society in Remvali is centered very much around the idea of individual freedom. The nation holds its history and its legendary founding to heart, swearing that its people will never allow themselves to be bound to masters of any kind. This has caused a society that focuses very much on self-reliance and community support. And it's not uncommon if you enter a Remvali community, you'll be interviewed to determine whether or not you can bring any value to that community, and if you can't, you may not be allowed to live there. As a result, the individual and community focus, the community selects specific representatives of each community to reflect those communities' opinions in the matter of state. There are several dozens of these, and they often disagree with each other. However, in the long history of the Empire, the communities tend to coalesce around each other in times of great emergency or great need, understanding the need to preserve the Empire as a whole. The role of the king is somewhat ceremonial. The real power is only enacted by means of managing warfare and disaster. In times of peace, the king and the royal family is treated with reverence and gratitude for the role the family played in founding and liberating of the empire. And that's what Remvali's empire is like. So that's what we got our empires. We didn't have those fleshed out. We had Saskatoon and Caligarn done, but we did those. Next up, we went ahead and got into our wild expanse, and we decided to take a closer look at New Haven Plains. We established the topography of New Haven Plains, added more of these bizarre circular ponds that kind of show up all over the place, and we established the towns of Mourners Creek, Lights Watch, and Haven Gate. It's like trying to move to Canada from the US. Absolutely. So in Fort Settleguard, it's operated by both armies. It has kind of a rotating cast, and they're being forced into a kind of policing role because of the failures of the Frontier Knights, who suck. Mourners Creek was established by a person from the Caligarn Empire, but he has no loyalties to it. And it was established as a kind of memorial town for those who died in the Ghostlands during the first winter in the Treasured Expanse. Lights Watch is operated by the Royal Saskatoon Trading Company, and it is one of the towns that takes up the role of warning everybody in the region when last light is upon them. There is a town like this that exists in every region. Its role is to make sure everybody knows when winter is about to arrive, and they usually do it in the form of a large beacon and a loud bell to let everybody know winter's here, batten down the hatchets, get ready to go. Haven's Gate is established by a member of the Caligarn Empire who beat out Felix Brinesail for shipping rights in the rivers, and is named after our good friends K-Grams. and also operates as the gateway for people seeking to move east through the treasured expanse. That's a lot of world building for one day. I think we did great. We didn't do my poem. Maybe I'll do the poem next time. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to call it there for tonight. And we'll keep working and building this out further next time. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you guys coming out, and we'll see you at the table. Puck out.